Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions and bet crops. Another very beautiful Wednesday morning, and we are back with our predictions as usual. We always come up with football matches that are happening across the globe, and we select a few of these matches and also look into these matches deeply. Using the data that we have on ground. Those data are actually the previous matches that I've had in recent times, and those are the things that we use to look into and also come up with the very best possible verdict for each of these matches. That's exactly what we're going to do today, and we're going to do that in a very short while. But before we go ahead and do that, we want to ask you, first, coming across our video for the first time. If you're yet to subscribe, and if you're watching us and not subscribed, take out time to hit the subscription button right now so that you don't miss out on our subsequent games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right, do not miss out. Okay, do that, and also remember to turn the notification button on so that you will always be notified each time we set out videos like this. So, all right. Without further ado, we head to the business of the day, and we start with the very first match, a very big one today. It is the Europa Conference League match finals, where we have Real Betis who will be facing Chelsea in the finals. All right, a very important match for both sides, and when we look at the stats for each of these sides, you can see for Betis in the last 6 games, I've seen them losing 1 game and winning 1, as well as having 4 draws in the last 6 games. On the away side, Chelsea have won 5 out of the last 6 matches that they had. They've also had 1 loss out of those games that they had in recent times. And when you look at how the two teams have fared, you can see that Real Betis have been doing so very well in recent times, as well as Chelsea doing so very well in recent time. Chelsea have actually won 8 games in the last 10 home matches that they've had. They've also had 1 draw as well as 1 loss playing from home. They've been doing so very well. And even when they played from away, they've actually been able to achieve 5 victories in the last 10 away games that they had. And for Real Betis playing from home, they've actually won 6 games in the last 10 home matches. They've also lost 1, but have had draws. They've had 3 draws as well, and they've also from away they've won 5 games and also had 4 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 10 away games. All right, these two sides, the last time they met, it was far back 2005, and Real Betis won against Chelsea in the Champions League by 1-0 on that occasion. But in this very one, very difficult game to call, but I actually am drifting towards the home side to not lose here at normal time. So I expect to see the home side to not lose until 19 minutes. So it is a home side to win or draw, in this very one in 19 minutes. All right, and we'll get to the next game for today. It is in the Egyptian Premier League, where we have Petrojet of Egypt will be up against the National Bank, all right, of Egypt. All right, when you look at how these two teams have fared in recent matches, you can see that Petrojet have had 1 win and a draw, but have lost 4 matches in the last 6 matches. And I wish side National Bank winning 2 games and 2 draws, also losing 2 matches out of the last 6 matches that they had so far. And on home and away perspective, you can see that Petrojet, the home side, have actually won 4 matches and a draw, losing 5 matches out of the last 10 home matches. And our National Bank of Egypt away side winning 5 games from away, also having 2 draws as well as 3 losses. Okay, and when you look closer at the results for each of these two sides, we see that for National Bank, 7 times out of 10, most of the matches they've had have produced over 2.5 in the last 10 away games, 7 times out of 10. And on the last time they met, it was actually a 2-0 victory for Petrojet. That was actually in January of this very year. So, but prior to that, we saw National Bank beating this very side by 4-1. And in this very one, we expect nothing but lots of goals appearing here, and a minimum of 3 goals. That's what we expect for this very encounter, and over 2.5. That's what value for that very game. And the next game that we have for you today is also in Egypt Premier League, where we have Cleopatra will be up against the Pyramids. Okay, for Cleopatra in the last 6, it is 3 victories and a draw, as well as 2 losses. And we side Pyramid have had 3 victories, a draw, and also 2 losses in the last 6 games that they had so far. Okay, when you look at how these two teams have performed from home and away perspective, you can see that Cleopatra, the home side, have actually been able to achieve 5 victories and 2 draws, also losing 3 matches in the last 10 home matches that they had so far. On the away side, Pyramids FC winning 3 games and 3 draws, also losing 4 games in the last 10 away matches. All right, on head-to-head perspective, you can see the last time both teams met, it was Pyramid who won on that occasion by 2-1 against Cleopatra. And in this very one, we know that in the recent times have always been Pyramid, winning. In the last 4 meetings between 2 sides, I've seen Pyramid winning two times, and the other two times being a draw. So we expect to see the away side Pyramids not lose here. We expect to see the away side either winning or drawing, and yet on the 4.5. Away win or draw and number 4. That's all valid for that very encounter. All right, that takes us to the next for today. It is in Swedish Division 1 North, where we have Vasalund who will be facing Sollentuna. Okay, for Vasalund in the last 6, they have actually won 3 games and a draw, and also losing 2 games out of the last 6 matches that they have so far. Vasalund, the home side, and away side Sollentuna have won just 1 game and a draw, losing 4 games out of the last 6 center encounters. Okay, looking at the performances from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side Vasalund have actually done very well from home, winning 6 matches in the last 10 home games. They've also had 3 draws as well as 1 single loss in the last 10 home matches. And Sollentuna, on the other hand, playing from away, have not done very well, but they've won 3 games and 1 draw in the last 10 away games. Also losing, 6 games out of the last 10 away games that they have. The away side Sollentuna. All right, when you take a look at the performances on head-to-head basis, last time both teams met, it was Vasalund who won against Sollentuna. That was in October of last year. We saw Vasalund beating this very side by 5 goals to 2. And prior to that, we saw Vasalund also beating this very side from away by 1 goal to 0. As a matter of fact, the last 3 meetings between the two sides have seen Vasalund winning each time they met. So we do expect to see the home side Vasalund doing so very well here, winning against Sollentuna, who is actually placed at the bottom of the league table, in Division 1 North. So we expect to see Vasalund home side winning outrightly here. Home win. That's all valid for that very game, okay? And the next also in Swedish Division 1 North, where we have Enkoping who will be facing Stocksund. All right, when we look at the stats for each of these 2 teams in the last 6, you can see that the home side Enkoping have had 2 wins and 4 losses, and the away side Stocksund have actually won 2 games, also having 4 losses in the last 6 games that they have so far. When you look at how the 2 teams have performed from home and away basis, you can see that the home side Enkoping have actually been able to achieve 5 victories and a draw, also losing 4 matches in the last 10 home matches that they had. And the away side, on the other hand, Stocksund have actually won 2 games and 2 draws, but have lost 6 games. And again, when you look closely at the score line for both sides, you can see for the home side Enkoping, it's always been a lot of actually 7 times out of 10 they've actually had a score line that is over 2.5. The last home game that they had, saw them losing by 4 goals to 3 against Cleopatra football on that occasion. And also prior to that, we saw them scoring 4-2 against Vasalund, from home. So the last 4 home games that they had are produced over 2.5. And for the away side, also a very similar situation have occurred here, seeing that 9 times out of 10, the away games that we've had so far have produced over 2.5. 9 times out of 10. The last away game they had was against Orlando, and it was a 5-3 victory. 5-3 lost for Stocksund on that occasion. So in this very one, we are expecting lots of goals. Also noting the fact that head-to-head meeting, the last 5 meetings between the two sides are produced over 2.5, 4 times out of 5. So we still expect to see a lot of goals, minimum 3 goals appearing in this very encounter. Over 2.5, that's all right for that very game. And that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to conclusion. We wish you the very best and hope your ticket goes green. Also remember to play responsibly, as these are football games. Sometimes may not be exactly what it presents. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day. We're back with our predictions right on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until that time, keep winning.